Good morning, guys and gals. Look, I keep getting asked a lot of questions very similar to each other. I'm going to try and put it all together in a nutshell. A couple of more things you need to know, tips and tricks about being here in Bali. Things like what's going to happen when you get here, insurance, money, all that sort of stuff. And if there are still things that you're not sure about and you want to let me know, drop us a comment. I'll see if I can find out for you. If you've been to Bali before, you're obviously aware of all the shops, the gift stores, the knickknacks, restaurants in the departures lounge or outside of the departures lounge. Well, this one over my shoulder is just outside the taxi rank is closed, as are pretty much all of them. COVID has just crippled many airports around the world, and they're operating on a need to have sort of basis, I guess. So don't expect to be doing too much shopping when you get to the airport. If you've got stuff you want to take for the journey, grab it before you go, because there's really not much available. So although Bali Airport's been shut down for so long and it's been virtually hoarded up and there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes, this is the first time I've come and actually seen a duty-free store as you come through from the inside area and back out into the terminal. So yes, you can buy liquor at Bali when you get here. I don't know how the prices compare to what you'll get from your home country, and if you're happy to pay whatever they're offering back where you're leaving, it may be easier. Their liquor allowance is 1 bottle per person, 1 litre. A lot of people have asked me about the process of coming into Bali and coming through customs and all that sort of stuff. So from everything I've been told, it's very simple compared to, it's probably faster now than what it was before COVID, because they've got dedicated, probably less flights coming in, and they've got a lot of dedicated services to make sure that the process is simple. Now they've done away with the PCR test and the compulsory masks in outdoor locations, it's a lot faster to get through customs, and basically they're just making sure that you've got all your paperwork correct. I've heard a lot of people say they're not even checking for the insurance, but you do need, as far as I know, you need $25,000 US minimum COVID specific insurance. So if the insurance on your credit card you bought your thing mentions COVID, just print it out, put it in your pocket, take a photo of it, leave it on your phone or something. But you really do need to make sure you've got COVID cover, just for common sense, and also for the law is you can't come here without it, and it's a very, very sensible thing to do anyway. Other things you need to know with insurance. Okay, what we're talking about insurance, it's important to know that if you rent a scooter, if you're driving a vehicle, or if you're engaged in certain activities, you may not be covered by insurance. Now normally that's not a big problem, but you're not living at home if you're over here, and the cost of getting you back home on a rescue care flight or something like that could be tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's essential that you understand what the insurance package covers. Most policies won't cover you if you've been drinking. If you're intoxicated or under the effect of drugs, you won't be covered. So if you have a crash and you've had a beer before that, you're in a world of trouble, because it's not just the cost of the hospitalisation and whatever here, it's a cost if you need to of getting home. And there's so many stories that we've heard over here from people from Australia and from other countries who have had simple, relatively simple crashes that have ended up almost bankrupting them. It's just horrific. And you certainly don't want to be turned away from a hospital when things are critical over here on the other side of the world, when you don't have your family and friends here to help you out. So check those policies. If you've got a policy that has an alcohol exclusion, then make sure if you're going anywhere on a scooter you have 0 alcohol in your system. Some of the policies, if you trip over just in a resort and you've been drinking, you're still not covered by alcohol. So really important to have a look at those policies. They're all different and they depend on where they come from. I believe the ATMs are open, so you need to get cash. Now the visa on arrival, here's a quick note for you. You will have to pay for your visa on arrival. It's about $35 Australian. So that's about 25 pounds or something British. So to do that, they will take cash, or they'll take credit cards. But when you get out of the airport, you're going to need to get some cash, because you're going to have to pay your driver. So how much cash should you bring? Well, I would say if you want to get some money converted before you get here, check the conversion rates, because you don't want to get stung. I generally leave my cash, my money in my ATM, and I go and take the money out. Now in Australia we don't get any charges to withdraw money out of the ATM when you're here in Bali generally, so that to me is a nice convenient way, and it's safe as well. I don't leave my money in the main account that they get access to, so if someone gets my card or they scam me or whatever, then they can't get to my main money. I just transfer $100 across at a time, go to the bank, pull $100 out. Now $100 over here is 1 million rupiah, and it's a pretty big wad of money, so I tend to take it out as I need it. I don't want to walk around with too much money. I don't want to make myself into a target, and also it's just not good practice. So people say, how much should I budget on when I'm coming to Bali? Okay, well, $100 is a fair bit of money over here in Bali. When you consider breakfast at a local warung can cost you $1.50, $2, $3, even $5 is a pretty fancy meal. So $5 for dinner, and maybe $2 for a beer or something to go with it, $3 at the worst. You're not spending very much money at all to be able to do much activities and stuff like that. You want to get a driver for the day, well, a whole day with a driver is something like about 40 bucks Australian. So that means you can trip around all day, including fuel, for 40 bucks, go into a couple of activities, go on a water slide, something else. You might pay $10 or even $20 for entry for those sort of places. So $100 per person will go an incredibly long way. You want to go out for dinner, you want to get McDonald's. Now McDonald's is a little bit more expensive than your standard local meals, and average McDonald's meal with fries and a drink is going to be about 10 bucks when you can buy like 2 or 3 meals locally, and if you go to the smaller warungs you'll get 4 or 5 meals for 10 bucks. So it's up to you. They tend not to drink things like Coca-Cola as much over here. They drink a lot of iced tea, a lot of water, and it's sweating a lot, so you really want to replenish the water as much as you can. So yeah, look, $100 a day for a tourist. If you're leaving your money in the bank and then coming through, if you want to get some change before you come, it's going to cost on average, it depends on where the taxi's taking you, but it's going to cost you somewhere between $10 and $30 or $40 to get home. Now 40 bucks would be a long way out of the actual downtown city of Denpasar. It's about 35 bucks to get all the way up to Ubud. You can go on a meter taxi, or you can go on a fixed price taxi. There's private drivers, there's a whole heap of options, and if you've pre-arranged a driver, they'll probably pick you up, tell you how much it's going to be anyway. So there's a couple of little cheats or little tips on what sort of money you're going to be spending when you first get here. Your trip through customs is pretty quick. The app that you have to load, it has to be on your phone. They'll check it if you're on your phone. I've heard that they're not even scanning the app to go in and out of supermarkets, so I think it's there as a precaution, and the Peduli Lingi app, whatever it's called, doesn't work very well if you come from other countries. Sometimes it's basically your contract tracing app, and it also has your vaccination certificate and vaccination details. So that doesn't always work. It didn't work for me, and I've been here 6 months, and every time I load it, it takes it and then it rejects it the next day or when it doesn't update, so it can be a bit of a hassle. So I'll give you 2 extra tips. If you want to haggle and you want to find out how much something is, if you say how much, they all know it, they're going to give you one price. If you say berapa, say it again, berapa, it means how much in Bahasa. But the fact that you're saying it in their language instantly drops the price to, can't scam this guy, because he already knows the lingo. And even if they give you an answer back in Bahasa with numbers and 350, something like that, you can usually go from there, use your fingers, and still end up with a cheaper price. So berapa. And another one, saksama. Saksama is a Balinese dialect for thank you. In greater parts of Indonesia, it's terima kasih, but saksama is more for the locals. So again, just thanking them, communicating in their language. They tend to think that you might be one of the many thousands of expats that live in Bali. There's about 110,000 Aussies, Kiwis, British and other foreign citizens living full-time in Bali. So they usually get not quite the local rates, but they certainly don't try to rip them off, because they know that you're smart enough to know what something should cost. Even if you get a good rate, everything over here is cheap, so be a little bit realistic. But one thing, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, $1 or 10,000 rupiah is nothing in your money, and to these people that could be all they've made in a day. So if you're tipping someone, don't be stingy. 1,000 rupiah is only 10 cents. That's not a very good tip. Would you work your ass off for 10 cents? Because I sure as hell wouldn't, unless that's all I had. So when you're tipping them, I just ask you, put a wad of $100 notes, 10,000 rupees in your pocket, and hand them out. The guys at the parking, a tip is just a nice way of saying, hey, really appreciate your work, and thanks for making my day a bit better. And in doing that, you're making his day a bit better. Enjoy your trip, have fun, stay safe, and look me up. If you see me walking down the road, just yell out, hey Muzza! I'll come over, we'll have a chat, maybe put you on the next vlog, or we'll go to the pub and have a beer. See you guys.